In the heart of the city, where dreams come alive, BWatts on the mic with that fire in his eyes. From the court to the field, every game, every fight, he's the voice of the struggle under stadium lights. He's seen the highs and the lows, the wins and the pain, every triumph and tear, every loss in the rain. But through it all, he stands tall, never backs down, with a heart full of love for this sports-loving town. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Every story, every glory, every promise we keep. From the love of the game to the struggles we face, he's the voice of the people in the sacred space. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. There's a love in the air for the game and the grind, for the players who hustle, leaving it all behind. Through the sweat and the tears, the blood and the fight, BWatts tells the stories under the bright lights. In the silence of the night, when the crowd fades away, he's the air.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Talk with BWatts tonight. It's on a Thursday night. This broadcast is brought to you by Whitaker Building Supply. The information is stolen at the bottom of the screen. If you need any construction material, contact Whitaker Building Supply. They will assist you to the best of their ability. Need windows, interior doors, exterior doors, roofing, blocks, cement, hammer, nails, 2x4s, 4x4s. Just give them a call, and they also deliver. So give Wayne Whitaker a call at 770-2086. If you look up there in the right corner, you'll see their business card. They sponsoring this show. They've been with me almost a year. I just want to let them know how much I appreciate them for trusting their business with Sports Talk with BWatts. Got a good show for y'all tonight. Once again, want to thank everybody who tuned in last night. Also, got to give a special thanks to JR Boxing and Coach Dre for joining me in on that session until my guest showed up. That was Promo and Big Tiger Media. Want to thank them for being my guest and reaching out to me on yesterday just to chop it up and say they would like to come on and chop it up. Appreciate them for their kindness, and I appreciate each and one of you in the chat. Also, the ones who don't participate in the chat, I appreciate you for joining me and supporting me weekly, every day that I come on. So once again, I don't take that lightly. Appreciate everybody who do the cash outs. Appreciate you. Just want to let you know you mean a lot to Sports Talk with BWatts, and I definitely appreciate it. All right. Tonight, we're going to talk about DJ McKinney. He's a cornerback coming in his second year for Colorado. We heard over several occasions how Coach Prime think about him. Coach Prime on several occasions said he's a NFL pro. He's a first-round draft pick. And I'm going to bring the guys up. That's Greg Said It from Atlanta, Georgia. Been with me now about 9 months, going on to a year. Got his own podcast. If you don't mind, go over there and subscribe to Greg Said It. And also, I added JR Boxing about maybe 4 to 5 months ago. I think that's what it is. He'll be joining the Thursday night broadcast as usual. You can find JR on Tuesday with Uncle Steve and tonight with Greg said. Tonight we're going to add another special guest. That's Coach Drake. You know Coach Drake been with me. Really? Let's see. I had Duke the Scoop first. Had my boy out of Atlanta second. Coach Drake was my third person that joined the broadcast, and he been with me ever since. So I'm grateful for that. These guys, what they do, I'm just gonna throw a topic out there and let them get up. Y'all go along in the chat also. Special thanks to Gucci, Art of Gucci over there on X for sharing my tweet for the last two broadcasts. He didn't have to do it. Just all right. Let's get this show on the road. I'm gonna bring the guys up, and we finna have a good conversation. I don't even see him. Okay, I see him now. What is? I don't know what's going on my internet. Oh, it's my laptop. Got JR Box.
Happening, BWatts.
What's going on, big dog? Appreciate you for yesterday, man.
Oh, nah, man. It's nothing, man.
Let's see. Did Greg come up? I don't see him.
I'm on the screen.
Okay. Man. Internet. Huh? I don't know what's going on, bro.
After this, I'll make sure I get your address. I'm sending that beloved, that benevolent care package to you, man. I have all kind of.
I don't know what else to do, man. I don't know what
technical goodies in the bag for you, man. Get you straight.
I don't know what else to do. It sounds like on my phone it's clear, but on my laptop it got a delay.
Okay.
I don't know what that can be. But y'all can hear me, okay?
What's up?
What's going on?
What's going on?
They call it it's the Timu internet. That's what they call it these days.
That Timu.
Yeah.
And Timu price is about to go up with them tariffs.
Yeah, I know. You're right. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat for checking in. Appreciate you. Patricia William, what's up from Connecticut? Miss Phyllis. Miss Me.
Miss Me. Man, they were hard on me yesterday in that
I love
that chat, man. Golly. Son of Yahweh, what up? What up?
Yeah, they know how you are. I'm sure they should be used to you by now.
They were coming after my head, man.
I ain't got rid of them. I think most of them trying to check in and see if I don't got rid of you.
They're trying to run me off like Stephen A, man. Scared out here, man. Man.
Yeah. What's up, Miss Crystal Wise William?
They've been saying you in the portal for a long time.
How you doing?
I know, Greg. Why they trying to put me in the portal, Greg? What's up, man?
I'm trying to put somebody in the portal.
Man.
Hey, they keep checking back, see if I don't got rid of them yet. Cause if you go there and check my comments, they like JR.
Every time.
They said, man, you ain't got rid of JR yet.
Yeah, that why BWatts be trying to put the IA.
All right, guys, let's get into it, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all long. But when we look at Colorado, defensive back, DJ McKinney, if this is a year for him to take off, like Coach Prime has put him out there to be, is it his year to dominate like we expect him to do? We'll start off with JR. We'll go with Greg. Then we'll go with Coach Drake. all the way through.
Yes, BWatts. This is his year. Look, after playing in the shadows of Travis Hunter last year, a great cornerback for the University of Colorado, top 3 draft pick for this up NFL coming draft. Look, DJ McKinney, man, it seemed like he won it all. He got up there on that podium, when they brought him to the podium during that spring practice period. He said all the right things. He's been doing all the right things. He's been, taking all the coaching and techniques that he can use to add to his tool bag to make himself the best possible player on that field. And quite frankly, he's the most experienced guy coming back. I know the Colton Hood got playing time on the field, but DJ McKinney and I believe Preston Hodge, they're the most experienced guys when it comes to CU, like being on the field. And DJ McKinney, he was there all year. I don't think he was injured. I don't think he missed a single game. I believe he played all 13 games, if I'm not mistaken. He has the frame for it. When you talk about prototypical NFL style cornerback, tall, lengthy, good speed, long arms, it's his time. So the work that he's putting in this year, the work that he put in last year, the work that he's doing with Coach Swayze in their strength and conditioning room, it has shown on his frame. And so he ready to work. He ready to work, man. This is his year. This is his year. I truly believe that. It's to you, Greg.
I mean, I think that I remember when he first came over from Oklahoma State, and I think he was pretty young. I think he had a little experience. He did play at Oklahoma State, but it was some things that he needed to work on and stuff like that. And I know immediately everybody said, okay, this guy, he gonna get all the work because Travis on the other side. So people gonna kind of work on him. And for the most part, especially compared to what we seen in the prior year with the cornerbacks, it was all over the place. It seemed like it was very unpredictable. He seemed to hold it down for the most part. So I think he had a pretty decent year last year. He only should build on to it from the first year to the second year to the third year. And he really have no reason not to stand out because you're looking at the fact that you don't really have that big name on the other side, and he gets to get all the credit that he can get. I mean, you can get when you compare yourself to Travis Hunter, it's a bad thing. It's a hard comparison. So I think that it's his spotlight to take advantage of at this point. If he don't let Hood come up over there and show out on the other side of him, So this is time,
I mean, when you're talking about DJ McKinney, what you know is the coaching from year to year. And what I know is if you go back to even Jackson State, Mathis made Bolden better the next year. So I expect that's what to see from McKinney. I expect him to grow leaps and bounds because he's in that system with Mathis, with Dion adding his 2 cents, and even with your defensive coordinator being a defensive back type of guy. So yeah, this is his year. He's gonna be the leader in that cornerback room. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that with Hood, but he has the most experience. And like JR said, he's the prototypical cornerback. He has the height, he has the size, a full year with Swayze, and hopefully if he does declare to go to the NFL, he stays there and gets that work. Like Shiloh got that work so he can get a little faster. But yeah, this is definitely the year for him because he's the most experienced corner. So if I'm coming into a football game and I'm looking at Colorado defense, I'm throwing at Hood. I wouldn't, but most people going to say that that's the guy I would attack because if you look at DJ's numbers on when they did try to throw the ball at him, it wasn't a lot of completions. He got an interception for a touchdown. So he did everything he needed to do on his side of the football field. So, yes, sir, it should be his year.
Patricia say? Or the D?
He'll have an L. I don't know about the dog. again, it's not many people get that D on their chest. I ain't seen Prime give out that D a lot. So I just believe he'll have that L. I don't know about the dog. Prime don't like to give that D out a lot, so I'll go with the L and not the D.
Yeah,
What you think, Jay?
I'm with you, Coach Dre. I think that leadership stamp on his jersey will be just enough. When you come to dog, I mean, I want to say there was only one player with that D on their jersey, and that was Travis. Or it was
No, it
two.
was two. It was two. Shiloh ended up getting one.
Okay. Hey,
Shiloh ended up getting one last year, so it was him and Shiloh last year.
but there you go. I mean, those big shoes to fill right there within itself. So, but as far as a leader, like I said, he was one of the first guys in that cornerback room to be brought to the podium to speak on behalf of that cornerback room. So, to me, that's the trajectory leading towards the L on that jersey for leader.
I think that Silver Craig should have got a D the way he played last year. You would think he would have got one, but
I agree with that. You can't nobody. It's a couple of kids I thought maybe deserved the D last year. He would have been one of them. But like I say, Prime no, he does. I ain't seen a lot of kids with D's on their jerseys going all the way back to Jackson State. I just haven't. So I've seen a lot of kids with L's, but not a lot of D's. But maybe that'll change this year. But it just ain't been what I've seen from Coach Prime in his coaching career from Jackson to Colorado.
Yeah. I think Shiloh had the L, if I ain't mistaken.
He started with one, but then I want to say maybe after like the fifth or sixth game, after he came back, after he had that horrible game, and then he came back and had that game where he got the sack and everything. I think that's when I noticed it. So yeah, I just know he got one.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm looking at Colorado defense this year. Got one sack come back for his you brought in Pecco on that defensive line, and you promoted Joe Hilo. Can Coach Prime and his coaching staff and their defensive line, along with the edge rusher, can they lead the Big 12 again in total sacks?
Can they? Shoot. They going to lead the Big 12 in sacks again, BWatts. I mean, look, the way they finished last year, I mean, they finished amazing when it came to that defensive line, regular season. Looking past the bowl game, obviously, I mean, it was just a bad performance all the way around. But I'm talking about towards the latter end of the regular season when we played Utah, when we played Oklahoma State, that we put a goose egg up on. Like, they didn't even score. Heck, I don't even think Oklahoma State got past the 50-yard line kind of thing, if I want to be truly honest about it. But yes, I believe they can. To me, there's no fall off in that room. You brought a bevy of guys back. When you talk to the names of Sammy O, when you talk to the names of Walker, when you talk to the names of what's the young guy name, number 40? Oh man, his name leaving me right now. But when you talk about the group of guys that they have up there, the McNeils, the Barnes that you're bringing back, then you're adding guys like Otis, Lightfoot, and Coleman. They have a bevy of guys that can produce, that are shown that they can produce and have been productive throughout their collegiate career. So I think that the sky is the limit for that defensive line room. I truly believe that is the strongest room for us in totality when it comes to the CU program. McCoy, thank you, DJH. McCoy, you got guys like him that's waiting and hungry, chomping at the bit to show what they can do on the field as well. So they started off the year, I think the first 3 games, they didn't register a sack, and then boom, from Arizona all the way throughout the rest of the year, they end up with 27 sacks and they lead the Big 12. So to me, it's a slam dunk. They can do it again. It's to you, Greg.
I mean, I think that, like you said, last year they had a slow start. So I think it had a lot to do with the fact that there was a lot of new people, and the staff was new. I mean, Sapp was new, Lewis was new, everybody was new. I think they have a chance to build on a lot of things right now that they didn't have a chance to build on last year. So it's kind of like you building on a whole nother year. So I don't expect to really have a slow start. And like they already saying, this is a more well-rounded, more depth, more talented team as a whole, not the individual talent, but the team talent that you need. So I think that they definitely should have one of the best when it comes to sacks and things like that, because most of those guys are coming back. I mean, you only really lost BJ Green. You look at McCoy, he's really been kind of showing himself for the last couple of years. And then last year, he really showed himself in the summer, and people talking about him with the scrimmage, and he had a decent year last year, but it was just so many guys. So with him getting that opportunity, him and Arden Walker, and I don't know what Oklahoma. I know he had some injuries, but they got 3 veteran guys at this point coming off from over there. I don't know what Wade is going to do. I know he has some injuries, but when you think about those guys they're bringing back, and you brought those little young IMG guys that's going to get a little taste and be ready to be the future, you have a very proven edge room. So, and then the tackles they have, Manil, if he don't take half the season off, and what he can bring and whatever Top Feet can bring, I'm still waiting to see what Swain and Wiggins do. But I mean, they have pretty much everything.
That's a good thing. I was thinking about him today, Greg. Swain. So, JR, in 3 years, how did Coach Prime turn the culture around at Colorado in your eyesight so fast?
I mean, quite frankly, he had a plan. He had a plan coming in of what he wanted to do. I mean, he came to the program with 3 extremely, talented guys when you're talking about Shedeur, Travis, and Shiloh. And then you throw in the likes of Cameron Silman Craig, another very talented guy that followed from Jackson State as well. So he came, when he said he was bringing his Louis, he knew who he was speaking of. We as fans or casual viewers, we interpret it as a totally different thing. But Coach Prime knew what he meant when he said, I'm bringing in my Louis luggage. So, but he had a plan. I mean, I'm talking about even from an academic standpoint, going to those border regions, speaking with them to say, hey, we may have to lessen the process as far as how we get student athletes here, because Colorado is considered a very prestigious school. And so looking at the curriculum, adding additional programs to the school, adding additional curriculum to the school to allow college athletes to, quite frankly, be college athletes, that's a part of the plan. That was a part of that Coach Prime plan coming in. Everybody was all up in arms about his 40-40-20 kind of deal, but that was a part of his plan as well, to turn the program around, and he's done it in a manner that has the whole fan base excited. So I'm excited to see what this year looks like now that you have those 4 very talented guys no longer with him, Shedeur, Travis, Shiloh, and Cameron Silman Craig. I'm excited to see what it looks like now, especially with the coaching staff speaking, saying we have a better, well-rounded roster, per se, when they talk about CU. It's to you, Greg.
Am I getting an echo? I don't know if it's coming through BWatts. See if you mute yours and see if the echo still come through.
What wrong?
It's getting an echo. See if you mute your end and see if it still echo. Let's see. I don't think it's no echo now, is it? Yeah. So I think that well, it just started back. Let BWatts muted back. Keep it muted, BWatts, so you see if it echo. Okay. Test 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I believe that this is their year to catch a lot of people slipping, because you think about the fact that they kind of played games with Colorado those first couple of years, like, oh, you little FCS boys, daddy ball. And then, they start getting real scary towards last year. Like, oh, shucks, the whole world was scared. Like, are they going to do it? They were holding their breath. And I think that they kind of took a sigh of relief now that Shedeur is gone. They talk all that talk, but now he's gone, and Travis Hunter's gone. And now they want to see, like, okay, now all your boys gone. You ain't never coached your boys before. Coach without your boys. Your big name guys are gone. You have these bunch of no name guys. Now let's see what it looked like. And they kind of like taking a breath of relief, So I think it's going to be one of those type of years. It's going to be like the Show Me State. It's going to be like, they're not going to play with you like they did before, based off of, oh, you are not a coach. Oh, yeah, these unproven guys. Now they're going to be saying, hey, you don't have no big names now to live off of. You don't have, and I think that's just what Colorado needs at this point. I think they get a chance to be a regular Big 12 team seemingly, because they got the running quarterback, the no big names. They still got the big name coaches. So they still got that, and they still got the support that Coach Prime. When that's what people are going to realize. I had a cousin that make the comment. He said, well, the only reason these guys are there is because Travis Shedeur. I was like, no, they actually there. It's the other way around. They're there because Coach Prime. Because we went to a Georgia Tech game. And it was like Georgia Tech couldn't sell out the stadium. And I was like, Coach Prime came here, we could sell it out. And they were like, oh, it's Shedeur and Travis. So now we're going to get to see what it really is without Shedeur and Travis. You see who it really is. It's Coach Prime and what he brings. And he is the kingmaker at the end of the day. He helped those guys build their brand, not the other way around. And we're going to get to see what he can reproduce with a whole new group, Bucky included, a whole new group of kids. Is he the kingmaker? Is he going to make Salter the next big quarterback, Heisman talk? He has the talent and he has the platform. Is he going to build a Juju to be the next big thing? Jordan Seaton, he's going to get to show that he don't just do that for his sons. So that's the good thing that can come out of it all.
I mean, at the end of the day, it boils down to, I've seen this story written before, so we know what's going to happen. Because of the simple fact is, now that I showed you I can win, now everybody's on pins and needles because this is not what you wanted. And now I'm going out to get the best coaches in the country, the guys that you tried to keep out of coaching, and I'm going to show you that these guys can coach, and we're going to win. Like you say, we know what the when football season cranks back up and they talk about Colorado, what's going to be the naysay? Well, there's no Travis Hunter to this quarterback do behind the offensive line that hasn't been the best. But it just boils down to coaching and how much do you want it. And these young men understanding that the standard is the standard. These guys have laid a foundation. Coach Prime is, for the first time, going to really be able to coach. I think you're going to see a different Coach Prime Sanders as well, because I'm focused. I'm always been focused on the team, but I ain't got to look over and see what Shedeur doing, what Shiloh doing. It's just basically focusing on everybody in their positions. And you're going to see a different football coach. We just a better, again, I said it last night, I think we're a better overall football team. I'm not talking about talent to talent, but just overall football team. I think we're a better overall football team because of it. And you'll see the difference in, like Greg say, you just a regular Big 12 team with big name coaches. But it's going to be star-studded because you want to beat the guys on the sideline. Them players want to beat the guys on the sideline. You want to beat the Marshall Faulks and the Warren Saps and the Deion Sanders and all these other coaches that you got over there. So it's more about that for the guys. So we just got to make sure we lock in and be ready to go play. And if we go do that, we'll be fine.
Excuse me. JR, there's a report came out today that they're changing Portsmouth Field from natural grass to artificial turf. That's advantage or disadvantage for Colorado?
Man, I don't know. I would say it's probably and I'll probably say it's a disadvantage. I mean, a lot of teams play on artificial turf now, so playing on that natural grass, man, and having that ability to play. Obviously, you can play fast on artificial turf, but I think there is an advantage to the natural grass concept of it all. But I mean, I understand the switch of it, weather and things like that. The artificial turf would just hold up better and help the groundskeeping crew for sure. But man, I don't know, man. I'm a natural grass kind of guy. If I had if I had to say it, I would like to play at the natural grass. It just seems like you get less injuries when it comes to natural grass. But if you're looking for an advantage to play faster, to have that extra advantage of playing faster, yeah, you're gonna get that with artificial turf. But the natural grass, I think it just keeps players a little bit more healthier. And I want to say, Greg, man, hey, I don't know what happened to Greg. This must be Greg, like doppelganger or something. But Greg, you cooking tonight, bro. I just want to give you that, man. I just want to say that. Greg, cooking, bro.
What this thing doing? Appreciate it. Yeah, I think that that's a good thing for them because of the consistency of they get a lot of snow and then it's hot and then it's rain and I noticed that, yeah, they do a good job, but I noticed the last couple of years, especially like, I don't know, a little past halfway through the season, it's a lot of slipping going on. And it would be Colorado slipping on their own field. And it was noticeable. First and second year was noticeable. Probably more so the first year. But I think when you add that turf, you have a consistency. You don't have no grass coming up, no gaps and patches, like them patches that they were kind of fixing up. That's what they were slipping at. And when you a speed team, you need speed. You don't have time for wet grass and slipping and if it's not draining well, if it rain or whatever, you don't have time for those type of situations. You're not in Florida. Florida got like immaculate draining system. I don't know if it's just God made. I mean, you can have a hurricane and play a game 5 minutes later. Matter of fact, I seen it at UCF. I mean, there's no way. I looked at that field, it was not a puddle. So what kind of mess is this? I mean, it rained so hard in the field, like nothing even happened. It was not, and I remember playing baseball down there as a kid, and I was like, man, we watch it storm all day. And I'm like, all right, let's go to the game. I'm in Georgia. I'm like, there's no way. Georgia, if it did a fraction of that, we can't play on that field for weeks. But it can tsunami in Florida, and you go there and it's like they got volcanic soil or something. Like the soil just absorbs it. That's not the case with Colorado. And, I went up there to Colorado, and the grass don't have that depth to me. So it makes sense why it gets slippery on the surface. So it's best to just go ahead, put that turf down. It's consistent, and you can maintain it. And they like do the little concerts, whatever. They don't have to worry about flipping the field. There's a lot of advantages to it.
We appreciate all that. We appreciate all that great respect for the Florida. I told y'all we different. You heard Greg said it. Say everything. It's just different. We told y'all. But now it's better because, like you say, it's a consistency, and you can keep up with it better. Like you say, you don't want to have it snow and then once you take the snow off it, the ground hard, it don't feel the same. The kids get used to that, and most of the places they play is going to be on turf. So you at a disadvantage when you come back home because you playing on grass. You playing on turf everywhere else, then you come back home and you playing on grass, and so it's gonna be, like I say, it's gonna be better for us. You even see it in high school. A lot of high school stadiums are going to that turf model fields. I think we got 4 or 5 down here, down my way, that they just changed it into turf fields because it's better. But again, I kind of like the grass better because, like you say, we got a better drainage system. Like you say, it can rain in an hour. It can rain for an hour. It can rain all day, but it ain't gonna stop us at 7:30 if it doesn't stop. We're gonna be able to get out there and play and still have good footing and good grounding. But for Colorado, I think the snow is hot, it's cold, that ain't good, and then it makes the groundkeeper's job a lot harder. So I think it's better for the groundkeeper, and I believe that's why Prime probably wanted it. I think didn't they have turf at first, and then Prime wanted to go to grass, and now they going back to turf. I think he realized that like the weather and stuff, it just wasn't conducive for them to have a grass field.
You know, back in the day, they had that old school turf. You know, they got that practice field with that turf, that old school carpet turf. So I think back in the day, like in the 90s, they had that, you know, that original turf. I don't know what point they went to the grass. I think they did. I saw some games back when Rashad, back when they won the Heisman. I think they had turf back then. But you know, people, you let them tell it. They act like it's always been grass, but I think it was some turf during that time. I don't know how long though.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. I saw a report on before I clicked on that they used to have that when them guys were playing. So I was listening at Skip Bayless podcast. Coach Prime was on there. Coach Dre, Greg, and JR. He said he have no problem with Shedeur going to the Cleveland Browns, the New York Giants, Tennessee Titans, the Raiders, the Saints on the Skip Bayless show. What y'all think about that? And what team you see right now as the draft get closer that Shedeur will be going to? JR?
And with all the quarterback moves and free agents being signed and this, that, and the third, and I mean, it's looking more like Cleveland. You know, I know the Giants was, you know, big on the radar, but the Giants could very well still pick Shedeur as well, you know, if he's there, if he's available. But I mean, it's looking more like Cleveland. If the Titans go with Cam Ward, then Shedeur will go to Cleveland, or vice versa. So I'm thinking more so. I'm leaning more towards Cleveland. I mean, Oakland is still a possibility. The Raiders as well. That's still a possibility. I know they picked up Geno Smith, but Oakland is still a possibility. You know, you have Shedeur sit for a year or two, kind of Jordan Love situation, and then you know you get in there and do your thing from that aspect. But yeah, with Coach Prime coming out and saying like, "Hey, man, you know, my son can play for these teams. I don't mind these teams." Coach Prime is well connected in NFL spaces, so he knows people at these organizations. He has an understanding for the depth and the leadership that they have behind those walls at those organizations. So that's probably weighing on his mind as well. But the dream is to get to the NFL. So the team that you play for, you know, you go and you make your path. But initially, yeah, when Coach Prime came out and said, "Look, I wouldn't want my son to play in these areas and stuff like that." If you go a little bit deeper into it, some of those teams didn't have great leadership at the top, you know. So even Cleveland being one of them, but I believe Cleveland is trying to turn it around. They're trying to get themselves in a position, but Cleveland has been through how many quarterbacks in the past 10 years, right? So, the dream ultimately is to get to the NFL. And so that dream is obviously attainable. So get into the NFL, that's the dream. And I think that's what Coach Prime was probably answering from that point. It's to you, Greg.
Yeah, man, I think that's really what it is at this point. That can't be better said than that, because I think it's about not being, you're getting closer to it. There's a lot of movement. No need to be picky now and put yourself in, writing people off or anything like that, because you don't really know. So when we first started looking at this thing, it was like really shored up between 2 or 3 teams. And then you like, where the Saints start coming in, and it kind of just, you see this thing can be a little more broad than you think. But I mean, when you think about weather, I think all of them decent. Maybe Cleveland will be the only one or one of the main ones as far as weather that would be a challenge. And if you still have New York, but when you talk about Saints, when you talk about the Raiders, those are indoor places. I think ultimately, they would want to go to the Raiders because it's so close, and you got the whole situation with the Vegas, and they like going there, stuff like that. But the way they moving people around and rooming to move people around, they about know you don't really have control like that. I'm surprised at some of the movement and some of the scenarios people throwing out with moving players and trades and all of that. So right now, they just got to take what they can pretty much get at this point. Don't want to shoot nobody down. Yeah.
I mean, Greg said it. Right now you just got to go to pro day, do your thing, and let the chips fall where they may. The Cleveland Browns would be idiots if they let him go past 2. But this is what I think. I think that you're gonna see a lot of guys try to get up to number 2. It's gonna be somebody else. It's somebody that's laying in the weeds that got Shedeur at the top of their board, and they gonna wait to make sure the Titans gonna do what they say they gonna do, which is pick Cam Ward. Which, if that's what they're gonna do, that's great. But I think when we get to that second pick to the draft, you're gonna see somebody move. You might see a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers try to make a move. You might see a team like the Miami Dolphins. Like, you might see the Miami Dolphins try to make a move. I mean, you can't really bet on that. So it's a couple other teams that we feel like they might be set at quarterback, but they might not feel that way. New York Jets not set at quarterback. So it's a few teams that could try to make a move to go up to, but right now it looks like the Browns. I was sold on the Giants at first, but when you pick up Jameis and then you go and get Russ, I just think that's a little too much. Just a little too much stank on it. But I think it's gonna be the Cleveland Browns at number 2, or it's gonna be for sure the number 2 pick. It might be another team if Cleveland. But signing Myles Garrett helped. No Myles Garrett, I think we in a different dilemma. If they trade away Myles Garrett, that means you trading away your future. You don't believe you can win. So keeping Myles Garrett helps to sell them, because you got Shedeur Sanders put butts in seats, and that's why any team that gets him, it's gonna be hard pressed to keep him off the field, because people gonna be in the stands chatting, "We want Shedeur, we want Shedeur." Soon as your quarterback make one bad throw, so you put a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
I got a question here, JR, Greg, and Coach Dre. Do y'all think Shedeur will have a problem sitting for a year? The Saints would be nice.
Nah, I don't think he has a problem sitting for a year. I mean, sure, that's not something he's used to, but now you're in a professional ranks. And I think, having a father like Coach Prime to let him know, like, hey, son, that's how the that's how the professional ranks go. It is what it is. So yeah, do I think he would like it? Like, nah, nobody want to sit, everybody want to play, but I don't think it'll be an issue for him if he has to come in and buy his time. To me, that gives you more time to adapt to the NFL way of how to play football. Football is football, but there is a way you play professional football. And I think that gives him an opportunity to be more so indoctrinated into that culture of professional football. So yes and no. I think he understands from a business standpoint, like, all right, this is what I got to do. But let me sharpen my craft. Let me be ready. So when my number is called, I'm coming out the gates hot.
Yeah, I don't. You know the pressure going to be put on, like you said, the butts in the seat and all of that good stuff. So I think we kind of seen that in Atlanta with your boy. Slipped my mind. You know your boy. Because I mean, you think about Penix, because when you look at, you paid all that money, and then Penix supposed to be coming in as a backup, right? So Cousin's supposed to be that guy, even though you know he was hurt. That's a whole nother conversation. But Penix was going to be that guy that everybody like Atlanta. So whoever you behind, or whoever you have Shedeur behind, they better be the real deal. And I don't know if that would be the case, or else why would you be getting a quarterback like that? You know, if you had a franchise quarterback, why would you go get a first round quarterback? First of all, if you had that, why are you in that position? So you already know he behind a subpar, an aged person who on the way out or whatever, a placeholder. So yeah, he can go in and not have pressure on him because that person is in that space and they'll give him time to develop. But I wouldn't be surprised if, a few games in, they're trying to, especially they losing, because they've already been losing, that they ain't trying to, work him in. So, but it's not like day one pressure. It's like you still you in the backup position, but you close to the front. So that'll probably be the best situation for him, because if you go into a losing franchise, they probably don't have butts in the seat because they're a losing franchise, and then vice versa. That probably causes both. So if the people do come to the game, they definitely want to see him play. That's to you, Coach Dre.
It boils down to the simple fact is, I don't think he'll have a problem with it. I think that the guys that he hang around, like Brady didn't start. So he has people to talk to, but I'm like Greg. I mean, you gonna put a immense pressure on the guys that you use, for instance, if the Giants was to still draft Shedeur Sanders. That's immense pressure on Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. Because first off, I'm gonna be second. I ain't gonna be third. And whoever in that first seat, like that first game, you go out there and you throw an interception or you don't look good, Shedeur. Come on over here and sit on down. But I kind of think it's gonna be like the scenario with Russell Wilson. Remember, the Seahawks had went out and paid the New England Patriots back up to come to Seattle. They gave them like $40 million. They drafted Russ, and Russ just beat him out in spring training to the point where they were like, yeah, we got to start Russell Wilson. So I just think Shedeur just knows what it's going to take to play. And he told you, I'm coming to change the culture. And so whoever drafts him understands that it comes with a big personality. It comes with everything. But I don't think he'll have one in that we're going to try to start this other guy.
Okay. Seen a video out from Well Off. They're practicing that 40. I think he got that 4-4, y'all. What y'all think?
No comment, lad. Look, the other night I spoke on Shiloh, they about ran me out. No comment. I hope Shiloh runs very, very fast. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'm gonna comment. I think that It looked like around about a 4.45, 4.46. He gonna be in the 4.4s, upper 4.4s, like how what Jimmy then was running. He gonna be somewhere around that 4.45 to 4.47. I think he's doing good if he get a 4.45. But this is what I like. What I kind of mentioned before, that them Sanders boys, they know how to lock in. They got it from their daddy. They know how to lock in. So I mean, that he's been focused on that. Why, you know, he picked one thing to focus on. He know he can't work on the main thing. I don't know how much his dad had to do with it, but it was genius because he focused on one thing that'll really take his stock up. And they say, oh, he don't have the speed. So he proved he had a speed by getting below 4.5. That'll take his stock up. And he been focused on that. While everybody else going to these specialty trainers and doing all this other stuff, he focused on that one thing. He knew. That's how you know you have people in your corner who know what they're doing, like his daddy and whoever. They knew, hey, this is the area you need to focus on. He didn't go get caught up in all the other stuff. So I think the way he been running and just seeing his improvement, he did what a lot of people need to do. They should have did. Work on their form and their technique, because that's all it is. You know, them split seconds is all it is, technique. How you come out, how you finish. And he just been chipping away at it. And I think a lot of them guys need to go do that during the off season. I think Draylon Miller, you know, I think a lot of those guys need to go to speed training. You know, not just for what you're doing for the combine, but like Travis Hunter showed. I mentioned this last time. Travis Hunter showed his speed. He was always like sneaky fast, play it down like he's slow. But he went to that speed training, and his speed went to a whole nother level this year. His acceleration and the way he pulled away, it looked like he playing with children. It's smart to get the right technique and the right skill set, because it's always going to pay off. So I think it's going to pay off for him.
Coach Ray, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It just boils down to the simple fact is that we feel that Shiloh gonna run. Coach Prime, go into the car lot, and, and get that man what he looking for, cause it's gonna be a 4-4. The coach said that's what I told y'all. That was one of the main reasons for hiring Swayze, was not also for this year Colorado team, but was for the guys that was getting ready for the pros, so they could get their time up. So Shiloh is gonna run a 4-4, no doubt about that, and it's gonna make his stock rise immensely. I'm proud of the way he worked. Greg said it beautifully. He didn't worry about all that other stuff. I know what the assignment is. I need to run a low 4-4 as I can in this combine. I mean, in this pro day, so I can show people that I can, because that's what everybody say, right? He can't cover. He can't run with this guy. He can't run with that guy. So now you go out here. If you run a low 4-4, you're gonna have one of the fastest times in that, even out of the guys that ran at the combine. So I just hope Coach Prime ready, because Shedeur gonna try to break the bank with this car.
All right. That's a good take. Yeah, I agree with y'all on that. I think people underestimate him, and like Greg say, he put that work in. He focused on that 40. Like when I did my show, I'll tell you, Coach Swayze teaching him the technique to how to run that 40, and it paying off. I wish Jimmy, LeJohntay, well, all of them would have stayed up there with Coach Prime and Swayze. That would have helped them, man. It really would have helped them. But anyway, on the internet, we got to talk about
You got Asante Samuel and Coach Prime. Well, Coach Prime posted a tweet and a video about how they cover. Asante Samuel saying it was about that two-step defensive back. Now, to me, whatever worked for you, worked for you. Coach Prime probably could get away with stuff because he was more athletic and he had that more top end speed, he can recover. Now, I'm not saying which way is the best, but last night, Big Tigers, I'm saying that Asante Samuel got the same numbers as Coach Prime in the NFL. But to me, he was good. He don't come close to Coach Prime at playing that defensive back. So when you look at the debate, JR, Greg, and Coach Drake, what y'all think about that debate?
Man, you said it, BWatts. Look, what works for you works for you. If Coach Prime had a technique that worked for him and he was able to perform to his peak, outside of just being a freakish athlete, that he was. I mean, he tell you about the 40 himself. Look, I just showed up to the pro day and I ain't even stretch. Showed up to the combine, I ain't stretched. Got out there and ran a 4.2 something. So obviously Coach Prime just has God-gifted abilities, right? So it's probably some things that he didn't have to focus on or worry about because he had those gifted abilities to put himself in the best position to defend. Asante Samuel is defending his point, saying, look, man, this is probably what's being taught all across the NFL or whatever like that. But yeah, you're talking about a once-in-a-lifetime type of athlete with Coach Prime and Asante Samuel, who's a very good athlete, but it's not once in a lifetime. You're not talking in that breath with him. So, and then with the stats and things like that, the game of football was completely different back then. Like when Coach Prime was the cornerback, I mean, you had guys like Jerome Bennett, Terrell Davis. You had running backs that were running the ball a lot. During Asante Samuel's peak of his NFL career, we talking about guys like Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, like a lot of quarterbacks that put a lot of air on the ball. So different time of football. Coach Prime obviously played in an era where they ran the football more, so that drops the amount of targets that's going your way. On top of you being a dominant cornerback, they're not throwing your way. And then Asante Samuel himself played in an era of football where the pass became the best option on how to go about running the offense. He got a lot of targets thrown his way, but he performed. He got the interceptions. He did what he needed to do. So when you just say stats, or when Asante Samuel just saying, well, my stats compared to Coach Prime's stats, it's different areas of football, man. So that's how I look at it. But one technique worked for others, one technique works for others. Still get to the same point, but Coach Prime got the gold jacket, so that ends that debate right there.
Yeah, you also have one major factor that you talk about a unique and a rare breed, a generational talent in Coach Prime. He also played professional baseball while doing it, pretty much the whole time. Professional baseball, most people can't even just play professional baseball by itself. He did that and played football literally at the same time, like going to a football game and then the same day going into play a baseball game the same day, or being the only guy that hit a home run and score a touchdown in the same week. Something like it, just that kind of freakish stuff. Playing in the World Series while playing, in the World Series and basically, if they had won, would have been the MVP one year with the Braves. I mean, the hitting percentage, batting average, and all of that out of this world. That's a freakish athlete by itself, playing two professional sports at the same time. Everybody talk about Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson didn't do it at the same time. He did it one at a time. He primarily did baseball waited till the season was over, then jumped into football. Deion did it at the same time. So nobody can really say anything because he did those numbers with how many years? 9, 10 years as a professional baseball player, in addition to his how many football years? That's ridiculous. I played baseball, football myself. I ain't never do them at the same time. I ain't want to do them at the same time. I think one day I had like 707 and I went and had a baseball game. But that was 707. That wasn't like a game. You know, I ain't even like doing both at the same time, honestly. So that shows you a lot about him. You just need to just be quiet. His speed, his skill, and the longevity he had. You just need to just be quiet.
Miss Patrice said it right. A hit dog, a hollow. Who asked Asante Samuel anything? Coach Prime was on TV and said and made a comment about the T-step. What is there for you to talk about? But because it's Shedeur Sanders, and because if I say something, it'll make headlines. Now, first and foremost, you a heck of a ball player, Asante Samuel. Take nothing away from you. Shedeur Sanders said the realest stuff. I'm a monument. You just a moment. Let's take a pause back and listen to what he said. I'm a monument. You just a moment. So, like, bro, be proud of what you did. Be proud of what you done. But again, nobody was talking. Nobody said anything to you. Shedeur Sanders didn't come out and say, hey, Asante Samuel, your T-step. No. He was talking to Bucky Brooks on ESPN, on NFL Network, and just said he thought it was stupid. That was it. That was his opinion. There was nothing else to be said about it. You made this thing a big deal, and now people got to come and defend. Shedeur Sanders don't need no defense. Like Greg said, bro, you're not in their class. And then again, if we poll people, bro, Asante, you probably won't be in nobody top 5 at cornerback. You probably won't be in most people top 5 at cornerback. Shedeur Sanders is gonna be number 1 in mostly everybody cornerback room. Like I say, there's nothing to talk about, bro. And you from the crib, you from the house. I love you, but like it wasn't nothing to say. I'm not gonna get offended by a statement that somebody made. That's what he said, and then he also said that's not what Mickey Andrews taught him. Like if you read the statement, he said that Coach Andrews didn't teach us that. So the man was going off of what he was taught. Some people teach that technique, some people don't. And I'm talking about right now. I just left the Hey, listen. This just how deep that done went. I just left the University of Florida coaching clinic today, and they had a pro day at University of Florida. And that was the topic of discussion. And the DB coach in the room said, well, some DB coaches teach it. Some DB coaches don't like to teach it that way. They teach it the way that Deion's saying. It's just what works, like you say, what works for you works for you. But again, this is the last thing about it. Asante, people threw your way. When Deion was out there, they didn't even look in his direction. Hey, Shedeur Sanders over there. Hey, whoever the other corner is, that's where we're throwing the ball. Hey, 21 is over there. Hey, Deion told you I didn't have your receiver scared. I had your quarterback scared. I'm not the receiver. I wasn't worried about him. I scared your quarterback. So man, it's like I say, bro. It was not like even in life, fellas. You know what I'm saying? I know it's off subject, but even in life, sometimes we say stuff that nothing need to be commented on. If you just would have came out and said your opinion, I think when nobody said nothing. But then you go back and forth with it. Like, just, okay, say your piece. Hey, Coach Prime, I think that's wrong. But that's how I learned it. I learned the T-step, and it worked for me. I don't think nobody has nothing to say if you say it that way. But going back and forth, and now you and Shannon Sharp going back and forth, and it became a whole story when it just didn't have to. So that's it, bro. It just shouldn't have became a big story.
he won't let it go. He posted twice over there about his stats and everything. I thought that was a little childish for his part because he was a good defensive back. He just wasn't the greatest. You know what I'm saying? He just wasn't the greatest. He wasn't better than Prime. Prime had athleticism better than his. He can get away with it. And like you said, Coach Dre, he wasn't taught that way. He wasn't taught that way. So we're gonna move on from that. All right, JR, we finna go to the state of Texas. All right, Greg, we finna talk about one of your guys. All right, Coach Dre, help me out. Cause they finna drive this Texas thing in the ground. Him and Greg smiling already. He must know what I'm finna talk about. When we look at the wide receiver coach, my dog, Coach Phillip, the first practice, I listened at an audio. What you call drop the ball? Whoever number 8 was. I heard him say, Coach Phillip said, you can hear him in the background, get your ass back here and catch that ball. I said, dog. I said, look at Coach Phillip. So when you look at the wide receiver room, it's 2 wide receivers. I want to know tonight. I already know how Greg goes, so I want to know tonight. Which wide receiver, a freshman, can be the difference for Coach Phillip wide receiver room? Farrakhan X or Quentin Gibson, Q6? Talk to me, JR.
Look, I thank you for highlighting Texas again, BWatts. Coach Dre, Coach Dre, it is what it is. We just had a segment about Florida, and now it's time to have a segment about Texas. It just is what it is. But I'm gonna speak to Farrakhan X because I know the other player. I know that's Greg Lane, so I ain't gonna even go there. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Cornell Farrakhan X Jr. The young man is a showstopper. Again, played in the highest classification of football in Texas, started off at Woodlands High School, was a great young man there. Great athlete. He said, I want to challenge myself. I want to go to a prestigious high school football nationally in that Houston, Galena Park area, North Shore. Let me go to North Shore High School. Let me dominate over there as well. Let me maximize my potential by playing with even better athletes at that school. Then he gets to the University of Colorado. You see the improvements that he has made. You see the strides that he has made. You see the highlight clips and everything like that. The young man is quiet, professional. He's there on a business trip. He's coming to the University of Colorado and he is about his business. Let me show you what I can do so I can get on this field and I can contribute early and often to the team. And that's all it's about. That's all it's about. When they talk about recruiting young men that can be impacts early in their career, Farrakhan Jr. is one of those guys that can be an instant impact for the University of Colorado. He's honing his craft. He's honing his skills better and better each day. And I'm telling you, Farrakhan X, he's going to get on that field early. He'll be on the field often throughout the year. It's to you, Greg.
Well, I'm just glad that the day has come where y'all finally accepting the fact what I said weeks ago, that little bitty Gibson, young boy Gibson, is a valid tool for this team. He's not just somebody who's going to red shirt. He's not too small. Because when I thought about how I look at how he moved, I remember little Dawson. You remember Dawson that came from Auburn, how he contributed that year. I don't know what made him leave or whatever. He was a smaller guy, but he was fast. And he was one of the faster guys. But I don't think he ever had the numbers Gibbs. You just can't overlook a guy who put up like 40 touchdowns. I don't care who you're playing. I don't care you're on JV. You just ain't just putting up 40 touchdowns unless you, 1, catch, and 2, can run really fast. And we had the film to show it. I don't care how little you are, you don't become, the player of the year and all of that. You have to be exceptional. So I knew he was exceptional. He's an exceptional athlete, and that's what you have. And when you have an exceptional athlete like that, you got to find a way to get him on the field because he make exceptional things happen. Now I'm starting to hear little things like the guy's putting on weight, and that's good. He's going to continue to put on weight. But when you what Muhammad Ali say? What do you say? Flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You can't hit what your eyes can't see. You can't hit what your eyes can't see. Somebody that fast, that quick, it don't matter how small he is, you can't hit him. Now you get something on him when you get him, but if you can't hit him, it don't matter. And that's what I'm looking forward to. You get him in space. As long as they use him the right way, get him in space. It's gonna be a problem.
I mean, shout out to them boys from Texas. They play great football up that way, and you got to give them respect. For me, as small as he is, like I say, but he putting in that work. Gibson is something special. When you can beat Duncanville by yourself, and everybody, like I say, Duncanville is known down here in Florida. When you can beat Duncanville by yourself, you a heck of a ball player. You are a heck of a ball player. And again, I'm just being honest, I don't think Gibson was coming early at first. I think he changed his mind at the last minute to come. And I think that's the best thing that he decided to do, because if he wouldn't have came till the summer, he'd have been a little behind the 8 ball. But now that he's here and we got injuries, I see the day in well-off, Coleman got his arm wrapped up in a sling. So, again, now these boys finna get even more opportunities. So, but for me, Quentin Gibson, that kid can catch the ball. I think he gonna be our punt returner and probably a little bit deep on the kickoff as well. So I think he gonna get the most opportunities like that. When you talk about Farrakhan X, hey, again, everybody better stay healthy. Y'all better get healthy quick, because y'all keep letting 14 go out there practice by practice by practice by practice. It's gonna be hard to move him out the spot. It's gonna be hard to move him out the spot. But for me, it's Gibson right now. I just like everything about that kid. And like I say, he the underdog. He what people don't know is he just got all them stars this last year. I don't even think he was that highly rated his 11th grade year. I think he really jumped on the scene that summer going into his senior year, and then he turned it on. So for me, it's Gibson. I just like everything about that kid. Yeah, Miss Crystal, Mathis had surgery, so he's still recovering from surgery right now. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we got a super chat right here from Lawrence. Appreciate you, Lawrence, for the $10 super chat. He says Asante real issue is not being in the Hall of Fame and clout chasing to the panel. When I look at the wide receivers and K. Salton wanting to prove he's a passing quarterback, how do you justify going away from a 10 personnel, JR?
I mean, you justify going away from a 10 personnel by putting a formula out there that you can win with, right? So, look, you got quarterbacks last year that were drafted and they didn't throw over 3,000 yards, but they were still drafted. So if the goal for K. Salter is to, make it to an NFL team, and you want to show a winning record, because the NFL team gonna look at the total body of your work and see what you're doing. So he doesn't have to go out there and throw for 3,900 yards like Shedeur and to be drafted. Yeah, you throw for 3,900 yards, that's getting you up there drafted in that first round. But if he goes out there and he throws for 3,200 yards or something like that this year, that gets him drafted. You win games, you put a product on the field, you win games. That's what I see for K-Salt, and that's what I see for Colorado this year.
Greg, how do you find space for Gibson and Hodge? Lawrence, you and Coach Dre.
How you find space for him? Yeah, that's gonna be up to your boy, the coordinator. Now, when you look at, they say they build offenses around people. They claim that they did the offense the way they did last year with Shedeur to fit him. Well, you got to build it around. If he's going to be Salter, you got to build it around him. And he runs this whole I don't know, the option type offense. Man, if you put these boys in motion with that type of offense, with that boy quarterback, you put some wing, put them at wing, or put them in motion, kind of like how they did. What is it, Singleton? How they used him at Georgia Tech, little bitty guy at Georgia Tech. I know he transferred this year. But if you put these boys in motion, line them up in the slide, or put them at the wing, and you already got Salter going in motion, and you got that wing going around pitch, man. You put Hodge and Gibson in those positions where they can either go out in routes or they can come back and be the pitch man or reverse. That's how you want to use them, especially in combination with how you using Salter. That's what I see.
Pretty much you gotta what Greg said is it. But the biggest thing is I think you gotta cross them routes up. We gotta run those crossing routes, them quick slants, them 5-yard stops, them 10-yard out, them dig routes, them comeback routes. Something where they can act like they going deep, stick their foot in the ground and come back downhill, get the ball and straighten up so they can put a move on that first guy. We feel very good about the way that the offense is going to be used. Again, and I'm going to keep telling y'all, this offense will not look like it looked last year. It just won't. I went back and I've looked at the highlights of the offense. Every time that I've looked at this offense, I've seen an H-back or a tight end. Every time they went out on the football field, I've saw an H-back or I've seen a tight end. And put your salt shaker down today. We're not talking about that guy yet. But it's just, again, you do got to build your offense around the guy that's at the quarterback position. But we got to make sure it's capable for two guys. Because the one thing that I think Big Tiger made a great point about is most running quarterbacks don't stay healthy the full year. I want K. Salter to stay healthy the full year, but he made a valid point that you name me a quarterback that run the ball like that stayed healthy the full year without getting dinged up and stuff like that. I mean they missed no games. I'm just saying getting dinged up and things of that nature. But to get Hodge them the ball, we just got to run underneath stuff, comebacks, quick stuff, some that 5-yard stops, quick out, some that can get the ball in their hand real quick so they can make a move and make somebody miss. So that's what I would do if I had those kind of guys.
JR, got this spring portal getting ready to come up. What are some of the positions as you see right now Coach Prime needs to address in the spring portal?
Offensive line, obviously, I think that's another issue to address for the upcoming spring portal. Definitely need some depth pieces. If you can find a potential starter in the spring portal when it comes to the offensive line, bring somebody else in that can get some work, challenge the other guys that's there, and challenge for a spot. So for me, offensive line, that would be the area of most concern. And then after that, I'll probably look at linebacker. I'll look at linebacker as another position where maybe they can bring in maybe one guy, two guys, or something like that, just to add a little bit more depth to the room. I know we got some young guys in there, Gage Goldberg, Hood, things, Garcia, things like that. But those guys haven't, they haven't seen the field. They haven't had any playing time when it comes to that position at linebacker at the collegiate level. So maybe if you can grab a guy too that maybe has some snaps under his belt to kind of, put some more depth in that area, that'd be good. So O-line and linebacker room would be my areas to look at to add some depth. It's you, Greg.
I mean, I don't know. I think at some point you got to get them guys a shot. So, I think it's going to be a matter of starting to kind of see what they can do. I mean, you have Goldberg. He was getting some looks last year. This is his second year. You brought in Walker. You had Hood there last year. And then you brought in these veterans. Then you see it depends on a lot. Really, JB's going to determine a lot. Is he going to be a fixture? So if he's a fixture, and then you brought in these two other guys, then some of your other developmental pieces develop. Then I mean, it wouldn't hurt if you got another back, I would guess, because the way these boys be getting injured. But I think it's about time for these to see what these young boys are going to do, and I think the spring is going to show that. And that would, I think maybe they would know that by now, as far as what they need to do in the portal, because they see in practice what we don't see, so they will have to know that. So you probably get one more, but I think at the end of the day, it's time for one of them young guys like a Goldberg from last year. I don't know, Garcia. I ain't see a lot with Garcia. Somebody from last year need to start looking at getting some reps, some part-time reps, than to always have to feel like you got to go get 2-3 guys in spring portal. Because remember, you're supposed to be trying to build a culture. You go get somebody in a key position that come in, you never really get to build that, because you keep being in a situation where these guys coming in for 1 year, they coming in for just a few months. These guys have been there. They've been there for a year or two. Them the ones you want to step in, not that person coming from the outside, or eventually you want to develop that.
I mean, I agree with Greg. If we get a linebacker, somebody leaving. It like you say, you bring in them two guys in that fall portal. Great analysis. If JB is where he is right now, which is running with the ones, you got Salter there, you got Goldberg. It's just too much.
I forgot Wester. Got Wester there.
Wester there. Yeah. It's too much for you to bring another linebacker in there unless somebody is leaving. So if somebody leaves, okay. And even if one person leaves, I ain't really keen about trying to go find nobody else. If I got me a solid four. If I got me a solid four, I ain't really worried about that. Again, offensive line, because we need depth. That's we're gonna always say that. I think we need to go get another corner and maybe another safety. The reason being, we just ain't healthy. I don't know if Vickers is going to get back this year. I wouldn't play him after having heart surgery, but I don't know what the entailment of it is. I just wouldn't play that kid if it was me. So a cornerback, a safety, 3 to 4 offensive linemen, and my brother BWatts keep telling me receiver. I go for 1 or 2. I go for 1 or 2. I won't be upset with 1 or 2. If we go over 1 or 2 receiver, that means somebody leaving. And here's the thing, family. Coming back off of spring break, y'all will start being able to see if somebody leaving. You really will, because they making their minds up right now. This whole week, the kids that's thinking about leaving, they making their mind up right now, because it's a lot of teams that they did the same thing Dion did. They went on spring break and kids came back and they hit the transfer portal. So 3 to 4 offensive linemen, a safety, a DB, and I'll go with BWatts with 1 or 2 wide receivers. I just don't see nobody leaving that running back room because I just don't. If somebody leave, then we'll get a running back. But if don't nobody leave, ain't nobody coming in there that's hitting the transfer portal. Because if you in the portal, you want to play. So why would you try to come to Colorado if the positions are full?
Yeah, I mean, you asked BWatts, Coach Drake. I already in the transfer portal, but that I'll leave that for another day, BWatts. But if you ask BWatts, I already in the transfer portal. Y'all heard it first here on BWatts show because he done said it several times. I'm just repeating his words.
I mean, why would y'all say that? I mean,
He's gonna be the top
why
rusher.
would you?
BWatts gonna be hurt. We're gonna get him an IA jersey.
I was just trying to make it. I was just trying to make the show more controversial instead of everybody that's going. Since we on the running back.
Hey, Greg, we know he's gonna have a Saunders jersey. Y'all know we know he's gonna have a Saunders jersey. We know he's gonna have one of them. He probably done already pre-ordered that thing. We know he's gonna have a Saunders jersey. You ain't got to worry about that right there.
He gonna play Yin Yang Twins in the background, shaking like a salt shaker. But look, he already sliding out there. I see he trying to reverse on us. You see him document this day. He's starting to by next month. He ain't never said it. By next month, I ain't when I say that. I ain't say that. That's not what I meant. No. But I'm glad we got these things recorded.
This all I got to say to Greg.
I should have known that's what you was into.
JR. Hey, JR. Give me your 1 and 2 running back. Instead of saying baby in that song, put K-South in there. God sent an angel. He sent an angel to Colorado. Hey, give me y'all 1 and 2 running backs.
Look, my number 1 is IA, man. I done already, pretty much put my foot in my mouth with IA saying he's gonna get 1,000 yards this year. So I can't back up off of it now, BWatts. So IA would be my number 1, and then I'm looking at Dallin Hayden to be the number 2. That'll be my 1 and 2 punch running back right there.
I'm gonna go right now. For now, I guess similar. I'm gonna go with IA and Hayden. For now, they've been in the weight room eating their Wheaties, so I feel like with Hayden being able to catch out the backfield and with this power and speed and breakaway of IA, I think that'll be a good combination. And if we do like I feel, just looking at the film, if you got Salter at quarterback and an IA at back there tailback, and you got a little flanker or something over there, and you put a little Gibson or Harge over there, or even throw a little Draylon, just mix it up, it's gonna be a problem because I think that it's gonna be a problem with Salter being like a third running back option. So that's what I go with.
Well, Coach Dre gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm going with IA, but my number 2, because I just feel like the kid gonna be him, is Brandon Hood. I just that he's a home run hitter. I think he can do it all. I think he can get the ball out. He can run the ball. I think he can catch it out the backfield. So when it's all said and done, when we get ready to go play Georgia Tech, I got IA and Brandon Hood.
You know what's crazy? That would be ideal. 2 of the faster running backs. And I'm gonna say something crazy since I ain't had a chance to say them. I believe that the running back in the room that's probably the most similar to Marshall Faulk probably would be Brandon Hood. As far as style and probably is. We just got to see him get an opportunity.
You not that ain't crazy. That's exactly what I said when we hired Marshall Faulk. That's exactly what I said. If you look in our room and we lined our running backs up, and you said what back looked like the coach, you say Brandon Hood. So yeah, that ain't crazy. That's why I think. And like he say, if you listen today, I think Uncle Nearly put out the sights and sounds from Marshall Faulk. Hey, he no nonsense. Hey, I'm just here to get you better at what you already do best, but put you in uncomfortable positions. And he done said I'm running with two guys. You other guys, you better go find it on special teams, because I'm running with two guys. And so if we running with two guys, for me right now, it's IA and Brandon Hood when it comes down to Georgia Tech.
All right, we're gonna get out this last one. We're right at an hour and a half. This is the last question I got. When you look at the Big 12, give me a percentage you think Colorado can win the Big 12.
To win the Big 12, a percentage? I'm gonna go 83%. And the reason why I'm saying 83% is because if you get 83 yards for 12 games, they give you 1,000 yards rushing. So I'm going with 83 BWatts because we're gonna have 1,000-yard running back. That's my final answer. 83%. I'm just putting it out there, man. Just put it out there, BWatts. That's all I'm saying.
I need you to rephrase that question because I'm a little off here. Make sure I heard it right. BWatts, rephrase that question.
What percentage you think that CU has a chance to winning the Big 12? 50, 80, 90, 100?
Yeah, man, I think, I think you're about right, about between 80 85. I think they're up there. And that's simply because the weaknesses that they had last year, when you look at when they lost games, everybody like to beat them over the head when they talked about the Kansas game, Kansas State. But they really kind of got cheated a little bit with Kansas State towards the end. They had a slow start. That was their fault. They didn't get dominated. They just played around too much. Played with the food, like I say. Kansas, people like to say they got dominated, but they really didn't, because they was in position to make tackles and they didn't make them. They were tagging out because they don't tackle at practice. That's my theory, right? They were tagging off. They were there. They just weren't bringing them down. It wasn't because they were so strong and they wasn't bringing them down. And also, they couldn't get out the field on third and short. They had multiple third and short, multiple fourth down. They couldn't get out the field on a defense. Offense couldn't convert on short yardage either. They'd be 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. So what the other team was doing good against Colorado is what Colorado did bad, which caused them those games that they did lose. So now that you have the ability to run the ball and a quarterback has ability to run the ball, I'm thinking that's to alleviate a lot of their issues when it comes to moving the ball. So that's why I feel like they got a pretty good chance of winning in this conference. As long as they're able to convert on short yardage and get out the field on short down, they're good.
I'm gonna say 75%, and the reason I'm gonna say 75% is because I think we'll say 80. I feel that it's 4 teams. I feel that it's 4 teams that also have a chance. So we got 80%, but I think it's 4 other teams with a 5% chance to win the Big 12. Arizona State, Kansas State, BYU, and Iowa State. see what I'm saying? So I give those 4 teams 5% chance to win the Big 12. I give us 80. I think we got the best defense. And so the other two phases is what we got to win at. I got to make sure we can win in offense and win in special teams. I think we have the best defense in the Big 12. And so, but that's how I came up with 80. I got 4 other teams that I feel have a 5% chance to win the Big 12. So I got 80%.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for watching. Sports Talk with BWatts tonight. That's the end of our show. We want to thank J.R. Boxing, Greg said it, and we want to thank our guest tonight, Coach Dre, for being a participant on the show. You want to thank everybody in the chat and everybody who's tuning in right now and the ones who are going to watch the replay later on. Don't forget, I won't do nothing tomorrow. I got something to do tomorrow. I'll be back Saturday at 9 p.m. I'll be talking about Julian Lewis only. It's all broadcast of Juju as the quarterback for Colorado at 9. And who else? Oh, on Sunday. Yeah, I switched it to Sunday. I don't know if we're gonna get Bucky on Sunday or not, but I had something to do Friday, so I couldn't get to Friday. So Austric gonna join us, Coach Dre. He's trying to get Bucky switch over to Sunday. I'm waiting on that answer right there. Well off, so we'll have them Sunday. That's all I got. But JR, Greg, Coach Dre, y'all get the last word and we out here. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Coach Dre.
BWatts, man, look, it's always a pleasure tapping in with you, man, and talking some CU sports and other sports related topics, man. So I appreciate the platform. I love what you're doing, man. I'm blessed to be a part of the team and talk this sports thing with you. And hey, look, again, Greg was out of his body today. That boy was on it. Greg was on it. So I salute to you, Greg. Everything you said was spot on, bro. So, all right. Whatever you did, you took a nap, whatever. Do that again next Thursday, bro. I'm just messing with you, Greg.
Well, you talking, you being funny, but I was actually studying. So is that what you want me to do? I was actually studying while we was talking. See, we being vulnerable out here. Maybe I need to study more while we talk. Well, yeah, Greg said it. he made me. It's his fault. Be wise, I had to. You know what I'm saying? But hey, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. We got stuff coming up as usual. Enjoy this Thursday night with the guys, and got a lot to look forward to here. New turf and all.
Like I say, man, appreciate y'all boys. Let me come up on y'all show on a Thursday night. It's always good to be up here with the fellas and to rock out and to do our thing. We always, like I say, it's always a blessing to be a blessing. I'm just a nobody trying to bless somebody. I hope everybody have a blessed evening. Hey, I'm always tell you, man, learn to forgive. It'll take you far in life. Learn to forgive, and I'm not saying learn to forgive for them. I'm telling you to learn to forgive for yourself, because you first got to be able to forgive yourself before you forgive others. And like I always tell y'all, man, if you send no ships out, no ships will come in. And if there's no contest, nobody can win. Games can't be won if they haven't been played, and prayer can't be answered if they haven't been prayed. I am your man, Coach Drake. That is my guy, Greg Shedeur. That is my brother, J.R. Boxer, and my brother, BWatts. God bless you guys, and we'll see y'all Sunday night.
Hey Buff family, this is Coach Shermer with CU Football.
Hey Buff family, this is Coach Livingston with CU Football.
Today is CU Buffs All In, our annual day of giving.
Your investments ensure our student athletes have the resources to have success on and off the field.
Make your gift today, and let's show the world what it means to be Buffs All In.
On behalf of CU Football and CU Athletics, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you back at Folsom Field soon. Go Buffs!
Who else wants some? They say my D-line didn't exist. Bullshit.
It's my favorite thing.
It's time to get nasty. It's time to get nasty. Let's go.
That's the Heisman Trophy right there. Would you like to win that tonight?
Hey Wes, you came back for the first time. I love your hustle. That's why I gave you a 4. Running around, you were physical out there, you were thudding. We had one play, you only had 3 plays. You had one play where you messed up. The only reason you got a 4 is because of the energy you brought to the locker room. You got to keep that up, all right?
Why didn't we get back out there? That's how you do it. But you gotta get deep in there. You see how you got an extra energy? You feel me? You got one more in. You got one more bar. You got one more bar now. Boom, get out of there. Go, kid. Hey, what I tell you? You just said it too. Way better. Let's go, crib.
And keeping it to ourselves. So all of you, if you haven't, all of you need to go and post our church service on your Facebook page. I have some friends, as I alluded to last week, that some of them got jealous because I didn't call them. So BWatts down in Georgia, Coach Dre down in Florida, welcome to the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church of Sacramento, California.
Let's go Buffs. Hey, watching Sports Talk. We're BWatts. I'm your boy Bernard Watts, live right here in Boulder, Colorado. Getting ready to watch Coach Prime in Colorado. Buffalo. Yeah, let's go Buffs.
No. I mean, I don't want to stay down there. Get out. Touchdown.